Hello and welcome back to Songs of SYX. This is going to be the second episode of our Dondorian Mountain series, as I've called it. This is going to be, if you don't know, one of the most horrendous... Excuse me? May the gods help us, the slaves are rising up to their masters. They claim to have had enough of your mistreatment. Okay, sure, brother. As I was saying, we are making one of the most bombastically vile civilizations ever made. But right now, it seems we have a slave rebellion on our hands somewhere. I'm trying to look for him. He's usually a little red dot. There he is. This bastard here. You know what? We're gonna muster him. Yeah. Yeah. Quick time. But yes, welcome back. That was an interesting start. I don't normally start on a thing like that, but I just figured, why not? Because these slaves in V.66 are quite a hassle, and we're going to be having a lot of them, so there's going to be a lot of this. So we're going to have our group form up. Our uprising was crushed. Can I kill him? No, he fled. He did not want any of that smoke. Alright, back to normal. Back to what we were... Welcome back, welcome back. What a start. What a frickin' interruption that these slaves had for me. Yes, here we are in our beautiful little city. I haven't named it, so I'm gonna name it real quickly. Yes, Mount Poon. And then I'll make a little design here for it. Yes. I think that'll do. Or maybe, yeah, we'll do it. Nah, that's a little too much flair. But look at that. Alright. The ruler, of course, is me, Fiend. Here we are. So, the plan for this series is to make a beautiful city for the Dondorians, something magnificent, while subjugating every other group of living creature in this game to the worst existence possible, while trying to maintain their submission. I think that was just a bug right there, because obviously they have 100% submission, plus 32%. So for a total of 132%, they shouldn't have rebelled. I was just mostly playing around on that one. That was definitely going to end in a second. But here we are. I have a lot to do, so I'm going to get to it, and you guys will see the result in a minute. Alright, here we are. Welcome back, welcome back. Man, it feels good to actually get to this point in the game. You can see we have got 236 Dondorians and we have 55 slaves. We're doing very well, although you see our money and our technology is negative. We have a lot of resources, a lot of which you don't see. So this episode is going to be specifically about logistics. If you're one of those people who've been trying to figure out V.66 logistics, here I am to tell you that I have figured it out. After probably a couple dozen hours figuring it out, I have put together what it is that logistics is all about right now. So I'm going to go over the end result, and we're going to go backwards towards how I'm doing it. So here we have our export depots. I'm exporting specifically things that I don't really need, that aren't too valuable to me. And I will get to, a lot of people might be questioning, I had mentioned, how come I can't decide how much is going to be exported? That's because to allow your export depots to fill up their storage here, you see their storage, they've got 152, this one's got 30, etc., etc. You can adjust the price. So for example, right now I'm selling this at 60. Technically that's what they're giving me, or 58. I believe that it goes to the highest bidder, and if you sell, let's say 10 of them, that will drop down to like 59. So 100 will drop down to like 50. Essentially, you want to keep this sitting here so that when the value goes down, let's say I put it at 59, when the value drops, they'll sell as many as they can, sell like 30 or 40, and then that's it. They won't sell more than that. The place that's being pulled from here, this warehouse, we have a little export warehouse right next door to it, where there's a kind of wide variety of storage, but it's going to eventually be fixed up. So currently what happens is the NPCs, or the plebeians, will bring things like wood, clay, etc. here. The wood is for this baker here, so that we can keep the bakeries going. But essentially, I will move these bakers, and eventually we'll just have this warehouse with the goods that need to be exported next to the export depots. That may be down here, but as I'm just kind of starting out and figuring it out now, we're keeping it right here. So what happens is they fill this up. Whatever resource gets put in here, they will pull to here. I have the radius set so low that they really won't go further than that to grab things. I believe these guys are grabbing pottery, so they might go a little bit further, but there is a specific warehouse here, which I will get to, which allows me to keep this stock here of different resources that's not being pulled from for the export depot. The way that works is essentially I built a warehouse with this storing option. The storing option, they will take all of the resources here and they will store it. So for example, I had mushrooms there. They shouldn't have mushrooms there because they're being stored and they will not be taken out. They will literally sit there forever. It's good, but also kind of a difficult issue that if, for example, I left food in there on the stored option, they will never grab that food, and they will think they have food, but they won't eat it. So, for example, if you wanted to have a grain warehouse that the guys don't pull from and they will leave just for storage, you can build a warehouse and click this and have it store specifically grain. So, as I mentioned, this is the export depot. They're creating the products here, etc. Baked goods aren't going anywhere, but eventually maybe I'll sell bread. But pottery, for example, we're importing clay. I have importing for around 20. Anything under than 20 is good. And then I'm exporting it here for anything over 36 right now. It was supposed to be, you know what, matter of fact, put it back up to 40. And so they essentially pull from here, put it in here, and then these guys grab it, and then they put it in the export depot. So this is a very efficient setup. Like I said, I don't have any money because I'm constantly spending it. I spent a good amount of money on gems. I spent a good amount of money on slaves. We have a Talapi district over here. So the Talapis are they're the linchpin of our society right now. They're holding everything together, and I'll talk about the hauler logistics in a second. I had to build the woodcutter in 2 different pastures. This guy could probably be switched over to livestock like this guy, but for now I think it's okay because technically what I have them for is producing more livestock, and then I can sell them. I have an export depot right over here for livestock. Whenever it's over 85, which it's not right now, it was prior, they will sell it. So they're just storing all of it. There's 1,200 slots for that storage. So they will keep storing livestock there. Plenty of it. We have our hunter. The hunter is extremely useful if you're a new player and you don't use them. Be sure to use them. They can provide you a significant amount of meat or great amount of leather. But the limit to them is that at 15 hauler or hunters, anything higher than that, they start to get a negative return on their investment. So let's say you had 20 guys. They won't all get 18. You might get 27, 26 or something. Not even. That wouldn't be 9 more. You can't really get more than 15 guys without starting to see declines, because Jake wants you to not use a hunter the whole game. He wants you to have pastures. So pastures are a good way to supplement that passive income of leather. We have our warehouse here. So this is a basic warehouse. The wood, the meat, the bread from the other part of the town, the livestock, stone, and the leather, etc. is all being stored here. But there is a guy whose job it is, or a couple people whose job it is, to come over there, and he grabs wood and he brings it to the hauler. And you can see I have it from the pull source here, warehouse 7. That's that Telepi warehouse. This guy, he is also doing the same from warehouse 7. He's pulling specifically leather. We have 2 guys here, 3 guys here, because wood is a little easier to come by. Leather is so far not so easy to come by. I need to get the technology and more humans in order to do that. So far, it's taken a little bit of time. Essentially, though, this little warehouse here, we'll grab it from here and here, and they'll store it here, and then they will get brought to their respective workshops, this carpenter or this tailor. So this is a good setup for an early start. We have clothes for everybody, and as we're Dondorians, we're creating a lot of clothing. And that's kind of why we ran out of leather. We burnt through it all just to make all this clothing. Then, after all of that logistics stuff is over now, that's basically the gist of it. I don't have the transports yet, but the transports are essentially a glorified hauler. And if you had, like, let's say a transport, you'd want him to be over here with wood being filled, and then have him deliver to here. Ideally, you'd have a larger warehouse. My goodness, the rain is very loud in this game. Ideally, you'd have a larger warehouse than what I have, but I've kind of gone for a more organic square shape for the Dondorians. If I look their environment, they should be pretty happy with their roundness. And as mentioned, the only reason why they have even half is because these bits outside. So inside, interior-wise, they're happy with their squareness. So we have a chamber for our nobility. We have 1 noble. He's the master of refinery. He's helping our bakers, our brewers, our charcoalers, our smelters, and our weavers. Eventually, we're going to have to start getting some different grain and or cotton, sorry. But I don't know if I want to do the... It's probably easier to just do the field of cotton and then have the Cretonians work it. Try to build up this way and fill in this area here. There's a lot of space that could be utilized in this area. And I'll probably make an entrance somewhere over here. I don't know where... You know what? Probably right here. Probably right here. Let's do it now so that we know. So that way they can get in and out of the mountain relatively easily. I spent a lot of time in this episode trying to get their services situated, so we have a bathhouse. I upgraded all of the lavatories for the Dondorians, the hearths, and the wells, as well as their stages, their food stalls, and their markets. When it comes to slaves, they get the base level dirt shit, but I tried to upgrade all of this, and I also tried to give them access to better things overall. So more benches, more decorations. I'm working towards getting monuments and other statues so that we can have actual, what's it called, awe being emitted through the city, and also getting these roads turned over. As mentioned, I turned this into the permanent storehouse, so essentially things like, let's say, cut stone. If I needed a large number of cut stone that's constantly being used in the sales or my export depot, I could just have that go like that. You don't really need to have too many guys, like let's say 2, because all he's doing is grabbing it and then he's just going to store it. You can see this guy's grabbing those mushrooms and bringing them away. I think now that I've figured out the logistics, this game is honestly so much better than I even realized. I think Jake's big old brain is just too pulsating, too much freaking power going on in there, because man, this logistic system is actually amazing. You can do a lot. You can get a lot done, and you can get it done in an efficient way, much more efficient than it used to be. So, for those who don't understand logistics, I think that's the problem. I think you might have to just keep trying and banging your head off the wall, figure it out. Because once I figured it out, it was much easier than I expected. Because now that I've got that all situated, the people whose job it is to be haulers, they specifically will do that. You don't have to have odd jobbers and random people doing things. You can have your hauler guy here specifically just grabbing that stuff. And then you have people like delivery man here. Let's see where he's going. Yeah, he's going here. So he went and grabbed that cut stone from here. And they will pull from any warehouse. They will fetch from random warehouses in general and then fill this up, so that you have a filled storage, that you can upgrade things or just have excess resources. Essentially, if you wanted to fill it up with Scythalon, as the Dondorians, that'd probably be a smart idea, as they like to have Scythalon, and having the Temple to Authority, they will burn through that like crazy. So eventually I'll probably have like a giant-ass warehouse somewhere in here, but there's a lot more work to do. Ideally, I'd like to try to get to a 10,000 people in this city, because I've got this brand new beastly computer and I know I can get there. So I hope you guys will stick with me. I appreciate all of the awesome support on the first video. It's amazing to see so many people interested, and hopefully you guys enjoy me going back to my normal style of gameplay, just playing in the background and then showing you guys what I've come up with. I've always liked it a little bit more, because kind of like a little surprise, you know, you open a present and you see what you get, and then the next episode we'll see where we go. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Say goodbye to Arno. Goodbye, Arno. Let's make him a favorite. He's a good looking guy. I like him. He's reliable. Goodbye.